Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. Um, all right, perfect. Looks like we are good to go here. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Perfect. Link sent out. And it looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Um, yeah. And let's see, we are good to go here. All right, perfect. That looks good. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 42,919, and the closest level below is at 42,887. So I'll be posting the direction of the breakout shortly in about a few moments in the Zoom chat. And like we did yesterday, if the volatile is extremely high on the 629 candle, more than 50 points, then we'll be going the opposite direction. So just to keep in mind, guys. So I got the direction right about now. All right, guys. So there goes the direction of the breakout for today. Again, I'll be identifying this if this thing moves more than 50 points. If it does, then we'll split the position. But if not, we will keep it in the direction that I posted in the Zoom chat. It kind of just depends on how big this candle moves. Looks like it might be okay here. We got about 5 seconds till market open. Looks like we might be flipping it, guys. So we got market opening at 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So we did flip it right there, guys. As you guys can see, it pushed more than 50 points, ended up flipping it the other direction. Order filled. So the breakout for today here is, man, the slippage is crazy on that. I don't know how that even happened. I'm gonna have to adjust that, but Yeah, I don't know. Like the volatility lately, like right before open has been like super, super crazy. So like for whatever reason on my Apex accounts, the slippage is just like super crazy. My entry happened perfect on my personal account, but on my Apex, it's like almost a 20-point slippage. It's crazy. Um, okay, so let me just make some adjustments over here to my position. Yeah, the account's perfectly fine. The entry was perfectly fine on my personal account. It's just for whatever reason on my Apex, it always happens to get like some crazy, crazy slippage. So we've got the setup right here. Go ahead and just set an alert there. All right, so we've got that set up. Let me see if I can maybe move this over a little bit so I can see the whole thing. All right, so I'll leave it as is like that. Let's go back to our main chart. So if you guys see over here, liquidity got hit pretty much above. If you guys took any of these levels of liquidity pre-market, the first level right here at 42,919 got hit for a full TP. And then the one right above it as well. Let's see, Stanley said he entered a V2. You entered it for a sell, right, Stanley? Because it looks like you're pretty much good. I mean, it's bearish right now, so nice. Yeah, so Stanley took it and he won. So yeah, if you want to keep entering the market flow V2s, feel free. I mean, there's a direction here. It's just the crazy movement on open like we've been having for the past couple of days. We're almost on our way to full TP for the breakout, guys. We're in profit about 75 points, so about 15 points away from the TP mark. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to it. So other than that, guys, if you guys took liquidity right here, first level of liquidity hit full TP, second one hit full TP, and a third one right there hit full TP as well. I'm gonna go and close these out real quick. Then on this lower level over here, this one over here hit TP as well too. So pretty much all the levels of liquidity right there got hit. If you took any of those levels, let me mark up opening price real quick over here too. And we've been getting like these crazy market opens for the past week or so. So like basically since or for the past 2 weeks actually, um, it's like the market's super, super dead and flat, and then all of a sudden it just picks up and moves super crazy like this, which I don't necessarily like. But obviously we're adapting with the market here if this becomes the case where it's just a normal occurrence. Um, yeah, if you guys want to take some market flow V2s, there's another entry that's happening up here. So it looks like it just got filled at the 910 mark. Again, I would probably be careful with these entries. If you're going to take them, I would go for just a 10 points, like very quickly in and out, because you guys can see here that there's not really much of a confirmation yet with regards to the direction. Obviously, right here it's bearish, but I would probably kind of just sit tight and wait to see how this actually moves throughout the session, because this is exactly what happened yesterday, right? The market kind of just went sideways the entire session. It was bearish for a time being, but for the most part, it was kind of just going back and forth a lot. So I would just take it with caution, of course. If you're going to take any of these entries here right now, take it with caution. I would probably wait for the market to stabilize a little bit before you start looking for any actual scalps, because the last thing you want to do is get caught on the wrong side of the market. So anyways, there's opening price right there. Let's go over here to the clean chart. I'm going to mark up some zones here, some price levels basically. You guys can see where the range is currently at. It's the same situation. It's pretty much the same market as yesterday. Price comes down super hard, almost hits TP, and then it kind of just retraces back like very hard. So it's literally the same thing as yesterday. If you guys took the breakout with this yesterday, that hit full TP, like right after we got off the live session. So there goes the zones right there. It's pretty much the same exact market. It drops super hard, comes back up, and then it kind of just ranges here for a bit. If you guys did take the breakout with us yesterday, here is the setup. Let me just mark it up over here real quick. So the setup from yesterday over here, This was our breakout. So it pretty much did the same thing. It pushed up super hard, came back for retracement back to opening price, kind of just sat here for like about an hour. And then eventually right here at about 8:11, it hit full TP. So if you guys took the breakout this yesterday, if you held on to it, full TP right there, it's pretty much the same market as today. It pushes in profit very heavily, pulls back to opening price, kind of just sits there for a while, and then eventually it pushes out to its TP area. It's annoying. I know I don't like it. Usually these like for these breakouts, we're expecting them to hit right away. But this is just the type of market that we're currently in right now. So we don't really have a say in like how the market's going to move, when our TP is going to get hit, etc. It's you just kind of have to hold on to it and wait for it to play through. And if you held on to the position yesterday, it hit TP. It took a while, but it hit TP at 8:11. So we're in the same position again today here. Price push to profit, kind of retrace back to opening price a little bit, and then here it is as it comes right back down. I'm hoping this time it goes straight to TP. This time we don't have to wait until like the end of the session. But again, we don't really know what's going to happen because it's really just in a range right here. It's in a huge range right here, just like it was yesterday. So with that said, let me go over here to the SR charts. Actually, let's go back to our main chart first. So again, if you guys are looking to take these market flow V2s, your entry would happen right here at the 900 mark. It's 6:36 right now, so it's still kind of technically early, but if you guys want to hop into these entries, I mean, feel free. I'll mark them up right there. The entry happened right there at the 900 mark. My bad, Sam. I just saw your message right there. You said if you should enter breakout back at entry. I mean, personally, I would have done it. Like if I missed it, I would have done it. But okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you enter with the sell limit. That's perfect. So you're in the position right now, and you should be in profit, it looks like. Because it did pull back up right here at 633. Your message was around 631, so I'm assuming you're in the position. I didn't. It's all good, Stanley. At this point, I would just sit out of it, maybe get into some B2s. Or you could just sit out. Yeah, you might as well just hold out. You already made profit for the day. So, at this point, if you start to get into a position, it's really going to be I would consider it revenge trading at that point because you already made your profit for the day. So, yeah, I think you made the better decision and just hold out for now, at least for time being. CJ said it needs to come back down because I don't feel like dealing with all those sessions today. Is there sessions over here? Let me see. Yeah, there's a session up here. There's two sessions. We have the New York low, London low. Let me see if there's any sessions down here. So thankfully, no sessions down here. There's liquidity. It's pretty far down. It's at 42,666. And then down here at 42,587. So we got some liquidity sitting down here. It's just really far below. Again, price is kind of just sitting down here right now, just waiting for it to come back down a little lower. It's pushing down to our TP, currently in profit about 80 points, so it's getting close to our full TP right now. Just needs to come down a bit lower. See if there's any news today, any catalyst really to push price. We got some high impact news over here at 7 o'clock, so I'm hoping it hits before 7 o'clock news over here, because the news is forecasted to be positive, but I'm not expecting it to have a huge impact on the market. It's existing home sales month over month and existing home sales for the year. So basically, it's just showing that the market is looking better. The main reason for that is really because of it's mainly because of the interest rates that were dropped last month. So it was a given that was going to happen, but we'll see how that affects the market. We have some breaking news here from CNBC. It says S&P falls for the third day as Treasury yields continue rising. This stuff you could read it if you want, but it's pretty much irrelevant. Last 8 minutes. So in the past 8 minutes right here, right on market open, it says stocks open lower on Wednesday, shortly after 9:30 a.m. S&P and NASDAQ were down 0.3 and 0.4% respectively. The Dow lost about 228 points or 5% to start the session. And that's currently where we're at right now. We're currently at the sell. So we're hoping that price drops even lower so that we can come down and hit our TP. We're almost there. Our TP is this blue line right here. So it's not super far off. It's climbing down right there. You know, drop a few more points. I like 10 more points right here. So I was trying to see if there's any targets down here. Again, if you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, the entry is going to be now at the 880 mark. Let's go to the SR chart real quick. See if there's any zones here for me to mark up. Let's see, not really. But yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to be holding on to a position for too long, especially because we have news coming up at 7 o'clock here. Zones right there. Don't really have any higher zones at the moment. See if there's anything below on 1 hour. So the next support level, or I guess resistance level, which is going to turn into support, is down here. It's pretty far down. So if we're looking for targets down below, there's quite a few targets right here. So price hasn't really hit the lower target down here, which is going to be this previous resistance. It's not going to be support if price comes down and tests it. There's not really much else here for price to reach because there's no sessions down there. Yeah, there's no sessions down there. There's not really much else for it to kind of push down to. Not really many targets. Closest target's gonna be right here, the support level. So I'm hoping it pushes down to that support level because our TP is right here, this black line. 642 right now. Let's go back to our main chart. Again, if you guys are looking, so it looks like it just filled right here, guys. If you guys took that market flow V2 that I marked up earlier right here, hit full TP. If you guys are still looking to take entries, the entry is still going to be at the 880 mark right now. Here, let's see. Taran said, hey, Sean, when you said there was slippage for the breakout and you were making adjustments, does that mean you adjust your TP stop loss based on the exact opening of the candle? Yes, that is correct, Taran. So on my actual personal account, so on my NinjaTrader account where I take all my actual trades, that was perfect. It was like where it needed to be. The only accounts that had slippage were pretty much all my copier accounts, my Apex, Tradeify, etc. So all of the accounts react to whatever my main account does. So basically on my main account, I just adjusted my TP stop loss to where it was supposed to be right here, of course. So what I do is I'll set it up. I'll get the parameters right here, and then I'll just change the basically the TP and the stop loss based on where it should be at, so that I know that I get out exactly where I'm supposed to get out at. Because sometimes like people will get in earlier or they'll get in later and they'll get a better entry. Like what happened yesterday with Daniel was he got in 5 points before us. Like he got in for 5 point discount, and then he ended up hitting his TP way before us. So that's what I do. I just adjust it slightly so that I can be at the exact TP stop loss. On my actual account, it's fine. It's just on my Apex and then my other copier accounts, it's slightly off. Like I'm looking at my accounts right now. There's like one account that's like really close. It's my main funded Apex account. And then like 6 of them are like really close too. And then like about the rest of them are kind of off by like 10, 20 points, unfortunately. So. All right, so we're getting a hard retracement right here. I'm hoping this hard retracement is just a lure and it's just going to pull people in. So it looks like they're luring in some buyers here. If you look at the price right now, if you guys took the market flow V2, it looks like it already hit TP right here as well. What it looks like is people are identifying this as a support, right? Because price is going sideways right here. So I think what's happening here is that the market makers are looking to lure in some buyers. So they're basically making this look like a support because it's just sitting right here and they're luring in some buyers to get into the market. As soon as enough buyers get into the market right here, they're likely going, well, I'm hoping this is the case. they're just going to push price right back down to retrace up a little bit, lure in some buyers, and then come right back down and stop them all out. The only thing here that I'm going to be a little wary about is the fact that we have news coming up at 7 o'clock. We have high impact news, existing home sales month over month. And for the month of September, the news here is forecasted to be positive. So this is why I'm seeing a lot of this push to the upside because obviously, the retail trader, they're like, okay, news is coming at 7 o'clock. I'm going to get in for a buy early, hoping that price is going to spike up. What I'm hoping for here is that price does the opposite. I think everybody here is looking to take the buy. So I think what the market makers are looking to do is possibly lure in some buyers. And then as soon as the news comes out, spike straight down, even though the news is positive, right? Because typically when the news is positive like this, I usually look for the market to do the opposite. So that's kind of what I'm looking for and hoping for there. Obviously, we have no control over that. Right now, we just have a lot of people who are expecting the news to be positive here. So basically, the existing home sales month over month is going from negative 2.5 to negative 1.6. So that's better, of course, because it's less than the negative. And then for the month of September, it's going from 3.86 million to 3.9 million, which makes sense because last month they lowered the interest rates and more people are looking to buy homes, of course. I don't think it's going to drop again this month. So if you guys are thinking about how the interest rates are going to be moving this month or next month, I don't think it's going to drop anymore. I think they're going to stay flat. And then we'll pretty much take it from there. So hoping for the fake out right here, price to push up a little bit, fake people out from those buys, and then pull it right back down to the range down here. And we'll just see where that ends up going. So right now, price is currently at the resistance. So here's the SR chart that we were talking about earlier. Price is right at the resistance right here. Basically a break and retest of the resistance. And it's just kind of ranging here now. And I was really hoping we hit our TP before the news at 7 o'clock, but it's not looking like that's going to be the case here. Here's our clean chart. Price actually hasn't moved past the range. So if you look over here from our clean chart, it's still at the upper range right here and the lower range right here. So I drew this up right on market open. Price just kind of came back down to the median point down the middle. But for the most part, price hasn't broken out of this range. The range is still within this upper resistance level and this lower support level. So here it goes. Price comes back down. It's doing exactly what I just told you guys was going to happen. I said they're going to lure in some buyers and fake out, come right back down. It's nothing new here. Typically, you want to look at the news and then try to do the opposite. That's typically how I've been trading over time. I usually try to look for like where the retail traders are going to be trading and then anticipate the opposite for happening. But again, we have news over here at 7 o'clock. So again, I'm hoping that we'll be able to have opportunity to get out of our breakout by then. If not, it's completely fine. I'll just hold on to the position like we did yesterday. I don't really have any say in like where price is gonna go. So meaning I'm not gonna pull out early. So I'm just gonna hold on to it, let it do what it needs to do. I'm hoping my analysis here with regard to the fake out and lure for the buyers is can actually play through. So there's currently a buy signal right now. There's no entries for market flow V2s. I would wait for the next confirmation. So look for the next sell signal. Once you get that sell signal, you can start looking for some market flow V2s again. So this thing's playing out perfect, like I mentioned. So it just lured in the buyers here. And then now it's coming right back down to what we called the support earlier. Again, we have news coming up in about 10 minutes. I'm really hoping this thing will come down before then. But it's looking like price is probably going to stay flat right here until 7 o'clock. Yeah, Brock said there's so many buyers in the market, but price is pushing lower. He loves it. Yeah, same here because it's in our direction of our breakout. So I'm hoping it just keeps dropping even lower. I mean, obviously price is bearish right here. Let me look at the analysis over here real quick. Yeah, so what I identified here was a reversal anyway. So this here also goes with my bigger picture analysis. We had a range here for New York, range for Asia session, bearish expansion into manipulation for London session. And then right here was bearish and it came up slightly and it came right back down. So for me here, I did identify this as a bearish move as well. And let's see what happens here. So we got news right here coming up at 7 o'clock. I'm hoping when the news comes out, it just spikes the opposite way. You can see here people are getting in. So we're about 10 minutes before news. Like I said, the news here is positive. So this is a retail trap, basically. They're luring in some buyers here. A lot of people are hopping in for the buys because they're expecting price to go up. I'm hoping that even though it is bullish or it's positive, price is still going to come crashing right back down. The main target here is going to be down here again. So there's no other targets here right now that are available. But what I'm seeing here is obviously all market liquidity. So we got liquidity right there. We got liquidity right here. What I'm hoping for and what I'm aiming for is that price comes back down to retest the liquidity, like it spikes down super hard and then it shoots down further because our TP is going to be right below it. We were really close to our TP right here, as you guys can see. Our TP was only off by a few points. Same situation as yesterday. It's off by 15 points, which is super annoying because it could have just pushed another 15 points to hit our TP, but here we are just holding on to this position like we did yesterday. All right, so I guess we'll just wait. There's nothing for us to really take here. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, I would wait for some sort of confirmation. So in order for you to take some market flow V2s, we currently have a buy signal right here. What you need to look for is you need to look for a price to confirm that it's climbing to the upside, right? You need to see flow to the upside. I don't really see a flow to the upside right now. I see a flow to the side, just sideways right here. So if you want to take buy entries for market flow V2s, you need to confirm that there is some sort of flow here. So basically wait until price gets to the opening price right here. Otherwise, if you're looking for a sell, look for price to flow to the downside, which is ideally what we're looking for here. But again, I don't think much is going to happen here until 7 o'clock. I think we're just going to have to wait. The news is going to push price. We're going to have a catalyst in a few moments here. In about 7 minutes, the news is going to come out. Then we have gas stock change at 7:30. This isn't really going to affect the market very much, but the 7 o'clock news is supposed to. So or it might not even affect it very much. I mean, the news might come out and then people might not even react to it. Might be a late reaction. The ATR is currently 24 right now, so it's not super slow, but it's also not super fast. It's kind of like more of a stale ATR right now with regard to volatility. Typically, if the ATR is below 15, that's like very slow. If it's around 20, that's like kind of slowish average. If it's like 30, 40, it's fast. But right now it's not there. It's what I would consider slowish. Not completely slow, but slowish. All right, looks like we're gonna have to wait. So we got news coming up in about 7 minutes. We'll see what happens when news comes out. And then we'll see how the market reacts to it. Again, if you guys are looking to take entries, this has just been, man, it's crazy how much the market has been ranging and consolidating this whole week, or like for this whole month, basically. The first week of October was great. Like, so first week of October, we had, I think, 5 back-to-back wins for our breakout. Market was very directional. It was perfect. Man, I keep wondering where that Discord noise is coming from. Everything is muted. Let me check real quick. Oh, okay, never mind. Got it. Yeah, it's because they keep tagging me in this. There we go. That Discord noise just like annoys me sometimes. I'm pretty sure it annoys you guys too, especially when it's just going off when you're doing something. Um, all right, so there's nothing to take here right now. Price looks like it might be coming back down. Again, you'd be looking for that sell signal. Like I said earlier, there's no direction here. Price is kind of just going sideways. You can see it a lot better from the clean chart. So from the clean chart right here, basically this is the big range, like the entire range. It's between the 950 mark and the 850 mark. It's a 100-point range here. The middle point is going to be right down here at the 900 mark. So this is basically the middle point right here. And let's see where this ends up going. So the breakout's still kind of sitting right now at its T. It's sitting in profit, but it's just really slow. So there's a breakout right now. Still in profit, but like I said, we have to wait for news to pass here. News is going to pass in about 5 minutes. So, I mean, that's really going to be the biggest catalyst. I don't think it's going to push price like a crazy spike. I'm not going to see like a, 100-point spike here. You're just seeing a lot of people who are starting to, this is basically the pre-news movement. So a lot of people are trying to hop into the buys here because they're already expecting news to be positive. But what I'm expecting here is the market makers to do the opposite. So even though the news is positive, I'm expecting the market makers to push price down. Because obviously the market makers are going to make more money if they just wipe everybody out, right? They have liquidity sitting right here. So I'm hoping they push it far enough right here for us to hit our liquidity. And then once all this liquidity right here gets knocked out, then it just pretty much drops even further. But again, we got news coming up in about 4 minutes. I'm actually glad price is pushing up right here. I'm glad that the retail traders are actually thinking of price to go up versus price going down, because that just gives us an idea of like where the market makers are likely to push price. So price came up right here, came up and retested the opening price. That's a good sign because it's having trouble getting past opening price right there. You can see over here, price has had trouble a few other times. So market open right there, it came down, came back for the retest right there, came back down, and then retested right here as well. So this looks like a pretty nice structure for it to like bounce off of. We got about, again, 4 minutes until news. And then right above it right here, we have the sessions as well. So there's a lot of areas here for price to bounce off of. Here, let me measure that opening candle again. So the opening candle over here, yeah, that met the criteria, 55 points. $55-point spike. The body of the candle was 32 points. It's hard to measure the body of the candle though when it's moving so fast. All right, we have news coming out in about 3 minutes. So again, if you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, I would probably wait for more of a confirmation. Right now, price is just slowly climbing to the upside. So you're having this like slow climb right here. And a lot of it is based off the news that's going to come out over here at 7 o'clock anyways. I would look for a confirmation. So you want to look for something like this. And it should be as smooth as possible, right? When you see something like that, then okay, take some market flow V2s for a buy. Vice versa, if you see price come down like this, take some market flow V2s for a sell. Right now, we don't really have that. Price is kind of just sitting around this middle area, came up right here based off the news that's going to be released in about 2 minutes. And then, yeah, for the most part, just sitting flat. So here's a clean chart. Looks like it was trying to come up and retest the upper resistance point. We'll see what happens here. So we got about a minute until news happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if price comes all the way back down to the middle point right here. And I hate holding on to a position into news. It's always a hassle because like you don't really know where price is going to spike. So I was really hoping our TP would hit right away down here. We were only off by like 10 to 15 points. But yeah, when news comes into play, it becomes a bit of a toss up because you don't really know where price is really going to go. Obviously, I would expect the market makers to push price down, but we can't say that for sure until it happens. We got news coming up in about 10 seconds. We'll see where the market makers push price. We got news in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There goes the news candle. And no movement. Not really much there. So I wasn't expecting too much of a move. I was expecting at least some sort of move, but not looking like it right there. So let's check the news real quick. The news was a little mixed actually. So the existing home sales, so this is probably why I didn't really move very much because the existing home sales month over month was it was positive. However, the existing home sales for September was negative. So it was a bit of a mixed bag right here with regards to the news event. Um, so now it's having a reaction now. So people didn't react right away, but now they're starting to react because the news is like fully out. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. Price pretty much came up, hit the liquidity right there. If you guys took that liquidity, looks like 10 points was good enough. And then now I'm waiting for price to come back down, hopefully. So yeah, if you took the liquidity push right there, that hit TP, obviously it spiked up real quick, hit TP. And then now, let's see if we get this correction back to the downside. So again, if you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, I mean, you guys can take them. It looks like, or I still would probably hold off on it because this whole push right here was based off the news. I wouldn't consider this a natural push to the upside. So liquidity right there got hit. Pretty much the first level of liquidity right here got hit. Then the next one right here. What I'm hoping and anticipating for is a fake out. So I'm looking for price not to actually break past liquidity. I'm looking for it to fake out right here and obviously come back down. Because that's typically what happens. If a lot of people are looking for liquidity right there, it just sweeps liquidity and then it comes right back down to where it's supposed to be, which is down here. And that's what happens when a lot of people call, liquidity sweeps. Usually price will come back, they'll come to liquidity, they'll sweep it out real quick, and then they'll just come back to where it's supposed to be, which is the middle of this range here. So price is currently outside the range. I'm looking for a possible fake out right here, and then I'll pull right back into the range down here. Because I don't really see, there's liquidity above this current level, but it's kind of far out. So let me see. Yeah, we have the sessions right here. And then the next liquidity is like way up here at the upper level of the sessions. So what might happen here is price might come up to the sessions, maybe bounce off that. There's just a lot of points where price is going to have trouble to get past. And then we'll see how market reacts to it. But I'm looking for the fake out right here. So basically I'm looking at this whole area as an area of a fake out. I'm just looking for price to kind of sit up here for a little bit, maybe fake out and swing right back below. Otherwise, you can look for some possible market flow V2s if it comes back below and it swings back up. But ideally, you want price to come back down. Yeah, Rashida said it needs to sweep this area here, 42,996. Yeah, right at the sessions. It's pretty much what I was looking at too, Rashida. 42,996. So it's currently at the sessions area. Gotcha. Yeah, so Rashida also mentioned that there's a fair value gap there as well. So yeah, let's go to our SR chart actually, because I did mark up some zones around here. So I don't have any zones around this upper area, but it's kind of like within that zone right there. Let's go to the 10-minute. 15. Man, this market is like really starting to annoy me because I really hate holding on to these breakouts for this long. As you guys know, the breakouts are supposed to hit within the first couple minutes, whether it hits TP, whether it hits stop loss, it's supposed to hit within the first couple minutes. It's not the type of strategy that you're supposed to day trade and hold on to for hours, right? We've been holding on to the breakout for about a little over 30 minutes now. I'm just surprised the market isn't really moving very directional. Like in the middle of the fall season, that's kind of like it's tripped me out a little bit because I was expecting more of a directional push at this time, but it is what it is. Here we go. So price comes back down. So price faked out right there at the sessions, like I said. So I did exactly what we were hoping for and anticipating. Faked out at the sessions, and it pulls right back down right here. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, I mean, technically you could have taken the entry right here at the 960. Again, I would be careful with taking the entries here. It looks like it already hit TP anyways. It's a very quick entry. There you go. Full TP right there if you took the market flow. So price came down real quick, filled the order at the 960, shot right back up to TP. There goes one market flow right there. And if you guys want to keep looking for market flows, just look for that pattern. Just look for the pattern to basically retrace. But at this point, I wouldn't take another one. I'd maybe take the first one, but other than that, I wouldn't take any other ones because it looks like price is going to come down from the sessions right here. It's just consolidating around this area, but I'm expecting it to probably make its way back down. Target price point right here is going to be the opening price, of course. That's going to be the first target. And then once price hits the target right here, I'm going to look for it to push down to the liquidity. And then down to our TP right here for the breakout. It's not super, super far off. It's kind of just like right there. It's like once it gets back down to the middle point, then I think it'll be pretty free to drop. Because there's a big gap right here, as you guys can see. Like once price hits this point right here, this is the next target for it to come down to. And there we go, as price comes down lower. And it's doing exactly what we kind of anticipated. Now price is at the sessions. Again, this is a hard part because this is an area of manipulation. It's the same thing like right here. It has trouble getting past it. So price had trouble getting past the Asia low over here. Again, now price is going to have a little bit of trouble getting past the New York low, but I'm hoping to just blast right through it, because if it does blast right through it, then we'll have some volatility behind it. Looks like we're stuck here now. So this is now the new range, or currently the new range at the moment. This price kind of just sits right here down the middle. All right. So same thing as yesterday, basically, guys. If you guys sat in on the analysis for yesterday, if you sat in on the analysis, I mean, last week at all, this is kind of the situation that price gets stuck in. It ends up just going sideways pretty much the entire session. I'll mark up another level up here. So price actually rejected directly off the upper level right there too. So it came up, wicked directly off the 43,000 price. Actually, this is a pretty nice price point right here where it rejected off. This is a whole number. So it's a very whole number. So it's like in the thousands. It's 43,000. It's not like one of the 100 numbers. It's basically at the 43,000 mark. So it looks like this might be the resistance point, and it's probably going to keep ranging between here. And then eventually I'm hoping it just finally breaks below and then comes back to like down here. Because if you think about it, this big push right here is based off the news, right? This is all off the news right here. So price is eventually going to have to correct back to where it was before, because it just pushed up so heavily from the news. So this big bullish push right here, there wasn't really anything to push it up like that other than the news that happened at 7 o'clock. So price climbed up right here. Like maybe price might not come all the way down here to where it was originally before, but if it does come back down, at least come back to this area right here, because this is where price was before news happened. So you can see the bullish push right here when the news was coming out, but before it was pretty much just ranging down here. So this is like the correct area of range. Down this point, this upper area right here is basically, it's just stuff that happened from the news earlier. Where is the price range? Yeah, so basically from this candle right here up to here, this was all the push based off the news. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I mean, the price looks like it's just going to range between these 2 points right now. And now we wait. All right, so price again is at the resistance point right here, or not the resistance, it's at the sessions. Again, this is an area of manipulation. So like typically what happens at these sessions is the price will come to the session point, It'll just keep bouncing off these points until it finally breaks past it. So this is what we call a session sandwich. It's pretty much sandwiched in between these two sessions right here. It's between the Asia low and between the London low and New York low right here. Eventually, price is going to break out of this area, but till then, it's kind of just like a waiting game. Price will just keep bouncing back and forth, back and forth. Hopefully, eventually, price finally breaks past here, makes it to the opening price, and it goes back to where it's supposed to be down here. And then whatever happens from this point, that's fine. Price might just consolidate here for a bit, and then eventually, hopefully, break down to the lower end. But as of now, we're just going to wait. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit around for a bit, wait for this here to play through. One question I've been getting a lot is about the hedge fund. So the hedge fund is officially up and running now, guys. It's not full-fledged yet because I'm still working on my Series 3 license. But I am managing accounts now for individual clients. So just to keep that in mind, I know a lot of you guys have been asking. So the way that it works is pretty simple and straightforward. So basically, you guys have seen my profits. So like, for example, here are like my profit posts from last week, right? So basically the way that this works here is this top account is my personal account. And then basically all of the individual clients will be down here. So for example, if you're a client to the hedge fund, your account would be on this list as well. Because what you're doing is you're just copying my trade. So everything that my main account takes right here, your account will be taking as well, right? And that's basically it. So it's a very simple process. It's not a traditional hedge fund where you have to give me the money. Basically, all you're doing is you're opening your own account with NinjaTrader. You'll deposit the minimum amount, which is about 10,000. It's not the bare minimum, but that's the minimum to cover margin, basically, to have a healthy account. And then basically at the end of each month, we'll pull up your performance statement like I did right here. So we pull up your performance statement, like we'll pull up performance, we'll go to this month, which is October. We'll see how much profit you made for the month. And then for your net profit right here. So basically all of your gross profit minus commissions and fees, that's gonna be your net profit. And then we'll basically split this at the end of the month. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to reach out regarding that. Again, the minimum for the account is 10,000. So just keep that in mind. Most hedge funds require at least 6-figure minimum, but for me, since I'm just starting out, I'm pretty much making it available to everyone for the most part who can meet the minimum requirement. So again, it's super simple. You're going to create your own account, put the minimum amount in there, add it to my copier, I take the entries, and then at the end of the month, we split profits. There's going to be a management fee, but right now it's currently waived. So I'm not really charging a management fee right now. It's really just going to be performance split. So however much money I make for you at the end of the month, that's how much money we'll be splitting. What other questions do I have? I think that's like the main question. A lot of people just have questions regarding the hedge fund. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The main strategy the thing with that is that another question that I've been getting about the hedge fund is if you can use like prop accounts. The answer is no. You have to have a personal account with NinjaTrader. I'm not going to be adding any Apex accounts to my copier. I'm not going to be adding any of these funding companies. None of them are going to get added to my copier because the trailing drawdown is going to be a problem, right? I'm sure you guys know that. Like that's probably the biggest issue with a lot of these prop firms is the trailing drawdown. It's the issue for most people, and it's the issue for me too. Because the thing is with the trailing drawdown, you get kind of limited to how much you can risk. So with a personal account, you don't get hit with the trailing drawdown. You can kind of just let your drawdown go for as long as it needs to go until the strategy comes back. And the thing is, the strategy that we're applying for the breakout is it is a 60 to 70% win rate. So that's over a 2-year period. So some months could be very low, some months can be very high, some months will just be flat. It's more of a long-term game. But yeah, my main goal is really to make you profit every month. The hedge fund's not here to make you like crazy profit every day. I mean, it can if you're going to take more risk. Like for example, I'm taking 3 contracts, so every day I'm either making 1,500 or I'm losing 1,500. If you want to go higher and go for like 10 contracts, you can make more money. So for example, if you're doing a 10 contract, and this is a question I get from a lot of the gamblers, right? A lot of people who want to be risking more to make more. If you're doing 10 contracts, so 10 times 5 times 100, you'll be risking about 5,000. So per day, you can make or lose $5,000 per breakout. Um, so it just goes in increments of 500, basically. You'll start at 500, you go up to 1,000. I'm currently at 1,500. And then from there, you can just keep scaling up higher. So back to the charts here, guys. Price is now finally below the sessions right here. This is what we were hoping and waiting for. So now that price is below this point, I'm expecting price, or I'm hoping price is going to come back down to where it was before, which is down here. So our breakout is back around break-even point, or entry point, I guess. It's at entry. And yeah, I'm just going to wait for this to drop even lower. Barack is asking, does it matter which broker you have 10K with? Yeah, it's NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is the only broker you can use because that's how you're going to be added to my copier. We're not doing anything other than NinjaTrader. Unless it's a broker that links to NinjaTrader, there's not very many brokers. Let me see if there's any brokers here specifically that I can look at. So, I mean, technically there are other brokers. So there's CTrader, and I'm just looking at the futures brokers. So there's CTrader, there's Interactive Brokers, there's Kinetic, and NinjaTrader, of course, and then TD Ameritrade. The only thing with me is that I'd rather have you use NinjaTrader because it's easier for me to use and for me to just add on. Because the thing is, I don't use any of those other brokers, so like it would be an issue for me to go and pull up your performance tab. Like I don't know why would anybody want anything else? It's so simple, especially when you're just pulling up the tab like this. Because at the end of the month, I'm gonna have to pull up your performance tab. I'm not sure how it looks on the other brokers. It's probably gonna look slightly different, but it's so much easier to just use for like if everybody's on the same platform. Yeah, because I already know there's going to be people who are going to look to do something sketchy, of course. As you guys know, there's always going to be someone looking to do something sketchy. They can try to go on a different broker and try to find loopholes and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, NinjaTrader is probably going to be the only option as of now, Brock. I mean, in the future, maybe Interactive Brokers, but I don't think Interactive Brokers is open to US clients for specific assets. So I'll have to look into that. All right, so price is now back below opening price. That's perfect. Our breakout is back in profit. Now let's drop back down to where we were expecting it to go to. Back down here. And one last question for the hedge fund. So right now I'm only handling 15 clients, guys. So if you guys are interested in it, it's first come, first serve. I might rotate people. So like, for example, I might have somebody on for a month and rotate for the next month. I'm hoping I can get done with the Series 3 exam by the end of this year. So hopefully by the end of December or November, I'll be able to, I'll just take the test. I'm honestly, I'm overstudying for it. I kind of just want to take the test and then see how I do without really studying for it too much. Because I'm just not much of a studier. So I think I'm just going to take the exam. If I pass, then great. If I don't, then I'll just retake it again. So hopefully by the end of the year, it'll be full-fledged and I'll be able to take on as many clients as I like. All right, so we got a couple more news events coming up over here at 7:30. So it's going to be gas stock change. This doesn't really affect the market very much, but looking at it here, it is supposed to be positive news. So The medium impact news over here, EIA gas stock change is forecasted to be, it was negative 2.201 mil. It's going to be negative 1.6. That's the consensus. And then same with the EIA crude oil stock change. This stuff doesn't really affect us that much. I mean, it has some effect to the market, but not very much. Other than that, there's not really much else here. We have the 17-week bill auction. We have Fed Barkin speaking at 9 o'clock. And that's pretty much it. Tomorrow we have high impact news. So tomorrow's the first day of the high impact news events. Tomorrow at 5:30, we have continuing jobless claims, 4-week average, initial jobless claims, Chicago Fed National Activity Index, S&P Global Composite PMI inflation news, Global Services PMI inflation news, manufacturing PMI inflation news. And then we have Fed Hammock speaking at 6:45. Then at 7, we have new home sales, pretty much a reiteration of what we had today. So today we had existing home sales. That's the existing home sales that are pretty much already from previous time. And then we have new home sales, which is likely to be negative as well, or positive actually. All this stuff is so pretty much all the news over here is a reaction to the Fed rate cut last month. So a lot of this stuff it was expected already. That's why I'm not expecting it to really hold for very much. Here we go. So price is exactly, well, it's not exactly, but it's getting to where we anticipated from. So if you guys remember earlier, I gave you guys this analysis. I told you this is probably what's going to happen. Price will push up. It'll fake out on this area. Then it'll pull back down to where it was earlier, right? This is where price was before news happened. The news candle is right here. So price is actually right back to where it was earlier. It's where it needs to be. The news candle or the news movement started right here. I'll draw a little box right here. So this is where the news movement started happening off this candle. Price is now back to where it was earlier. This is the original range. So if you look at this from, like from a fishbowl perspective, really this push to the upside was just based off the news. The news was positive this morning. So like this is kind of what we're expecting anyways. I wasn't expecting this big of a push, but basically this is a pre-news push at 6:55. It started pushing up. The news happened here at 7 o'clock, pushed up a little higher, and then out corrected back to where it was prior. So this is all the news push. This is back to normal market. This is where the range was before all that noise happened. So now that we're back down here, now I'm hoping that price will just, or what I'm kind of expecting here is I'm expecting price to go back into a range for a bit, because it already dropped quite a bit. So it already dropped a bit over here from this upper area, right? Pushed up a little bit, corrected back down. Looking for some sort of consolidation here. And then eventually, in the next hour or two, maybe 3 hours, finally push down here past the liquidity and going down to our TP for our breakout, of course. So here's our breakout. It's back in profit. It's pretty much back to where it was earlier. Not quite. It needs to drop a little further. And then once it's down here, it's going to be back to where it was earlier, hopefully enough to hit our TP. Because this liquidity right here still hasn't gotten hit at the lower level. But again, we are just going to wait here and see where it ends up going. But there's just not too much to work with at the moment. Daniel said, how did you pass the bar if you don't like studying? Oh, man. Don't get me started on that, Daniel. Dude, I had to like lock myself in my room for like, man, I was like on a trippy schedule. Like that schedule was like horrible. Literally I had to force myself to kind of like studying. Okay, so I didn't really like studying. Well, so for the bar exam, I'm studying the same way that I'm studying for the Series 3. Basically what I did was I memorized all the questions and I memorized all the answers. That's like literally what I did. I didn't really study for it. Like if you were to ask me any of those questions, I would be like, I would have no way to really explain it to you. What I did was I literally went through every single question. Like there was like, I think 5,000 questions. I memorized almost every single question. And then I memorized every answer that went with that question. So when it came for the bar exam, for the multiple choice part of it, I literally was like, I wasn't even looking at, like, I wasn't analyzing anything. I was like, okay, this is a question. What do I remember from my studying, from my memorizing, really? And I just matched the answer to the question. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the Series 3. I I have like I wouldn't say it's a photogenic memory, but I have very good memory. So like for example, if you guys have been part of K2 for like the past, I mean it's been like 8 years now. Like basically the first client that I signed on to the hedge fund, he was a member of K2 like 6 years ago. I haven't talked to this guy in 6 years, but I knew exactly who he was when he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, bro, I hope you remember me. I know I've been waiting for you to open this hedge fund for like, 4 years now." And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course I remember you, Sam." So we talked yesterday, and then he signed up for it. I have a good memory when it comes to people and to like certain things, but I'm not really good at what I would say retaining information. And it kind of reflects in like how I am now, right? So like you guys see how I trade now, right? I don't necessarily look at what's been happening in the past. I like what's happening right here and right now. Um, so I know you'll see a few people who like to look at historical data, like they like to trade on the higher time frames, like the daily or the monthly. I don't really care about that stuff. I care about what's happening right now in the 1 minute. And it kind of reflects how my thought process works. Same with like studying and same with like a lot of other things. I have a good I have a good short to midterm memory. I don't have a good long-term memory, but I have a good short to midterm memory. Um, and yeah, like what Daniel said. He said, "You're like Mike from Suits, just remember everything." That's uh that's exactly what it is. The cool thing with the Series 3 exam is that it's still a lot of questions, but it's not as much as the bar exam, of course. Because I have all of the multiple choice questions. It's probably like around like 2,000 questions. I just have to memorize everything. Uh, so that's kind of the game plan. I feel like a lot of people are kind of the same way too. It's kind of like having the cheat sheet, right? Having the cheat sheet, but in your brain. All right, guys. So looking at current price right now, if you guys are still looking to take entries, I probably wouldn't take any market flow V2s right now. Price is still consolidating sideways right here. It's just doing what we expected. So like I mentioned earlier, I said I'm waiting for the fake out right here. And then when price comes back down, I'm gonna look for some sort of consolidation and then eventually come back down. The consolidation is fine. This is what I was expecting anyways. I'd rather have a consolidation than fight for price to like shoot back up, right? Because that's just not what we're looking for here. We're looking for price to consolidate flat out a little bit and then eventually climb back down and then consolidate and climb back down and hit our TP. Otherwise, our breakout's still in profit right now. It's really just going to be a matter of patience and a matter of waiting for, something to actually happen here. So here we are. Let's go to our clean chart. Okay, so the clean chart is actually easier to see everything because you don't really have all the markups on here. The clean chart shows you that price came right back to where it was earlier. So back earlier, I mentioned that this was the midway point, right? Price was ranging between this area. And then this is basically the midway point. This up here obviously was the news push from earlier. And then it came all the way back down. So we're technically within the full range from earlier. So if you were to just ignore this upper area right here, let me see if I can do that. So if you're to ignore this whole upper area right here, whoops, I was gonna black it out, but it's okay. I'll leave it as is. So if you were to basically ignore this whole upper area right here, this is basically the range that we were expecting price to move in before news happened. So again, now we just kind of wait for price here to do its thing or to go wherever it needs to go. We got news again right here at 7:30, so that's kind of what's pushing price up a little bit. Like I said, the news here was forecasted to be positive. So we got news coming up right here in about 20 seconds. It's positive news again. So again, this is a reaction to the news. Price kind of climbed up a little bit. We got news in about 10 seconds. We got 5 seconds. And here we go. Price releases news. So news is getting released right here. Not really getting too much of a reaction on the candle, but okay, so the news over here was positive for gas stock change, and then it was negative for oil stock change. Again, it's a mixed bag. So earlier this morning at 7 o'clock, we had two high impact news events that came out. One was positive, one was negative. And then again, right here, we had two medium impact news events. One was positive, one was negative. And here's the reaction, not very much. It's just flat. And it's back within this middle range right here. All right, so again, we will wait. There we go. This price pulls right back below opening price. Check CNBC real quick. Any breaking news? Nothing. See anything new here with regard to the stock market news? All right, so about 20 minutes ago, it says former Fed official Esther George cautions on US debt and deficit situation. That was, I mean, we already knew that was going to be the case. No other news from there. So no updates right now with regard to news. There's no catalyst really pushing price aside from the gas stock change that just came out. It was mixed news, so it's not really going to be one-sided, whether it be to the upside or to the downside. It's kind of just flat. Yeah, I don't see any other news events here to really cause price to move. To check Bloomberg real quick. I was thinking about getting a Bloomberg terminal just to follow news a little closer, but I don't think it's really necessary. If you guys are familiar with Bloomberg, the terminal is like 15,000, I think. It's between 15,000 and 50,000. It's pretty expensive. If you're like a non-professional trader, it's like 15,000. But if you're a professional, I mean, you go up to like 100,000. Just how the terminal. It would be good if like I was trading news and stuff, but I don't really trade news like that. Yeah, there's no there's no news here, really. There's a new economy at B20 in Sao Paulo, going on right now, but again, I don't think that's going to affect our YM very much. So our breakout's still in profit, guys. It's kind of just sitting around the middle right now. I am just waiting for something here to happen. All right, so we're getting some volatility here. Price starting to come down a little bit. Let's see if it finally comes down to this lower area. So as you guys can see, there's not really much direction here, guys, right? So this is why I'm not really recommending you guys take any market flow V2s. I know some of you guys want to take it, and that's really up to you. If you want to take it, feel free to take them. But what you're looking for here is you're looking for a confirmation of direction. Right here, price is just going back and forth between this range, right? That's what's happening right here. What you want to happen here is you want price to come down, retrace, come down, retrace, come down. Once you have that confirmation and you see the movement like this, then okay, great. Start taking some market flow V2s. Otherwise, right now, price is going sideways. There's not really much of a direction here. If you want to follow this here, you can follow this. So price is currently going sideways. Look for price to establish a new low, right? Look for it to come down a little bit, retrace, come down a little bit, retrace, come down a little bit. If this is a little too complicated, just look for price to follow the pivots. So look for the pivots to come down, look for price to come down, retest the pivots, retest the pivots, retest the pivots. There's a lot of different ways to identify market flow. Obviously, one I just showed you is probably going to be the easiest because the pivots they tend to move smooth when the market is flowing, but right now they're not really moving like that. Looks like we're going to be stuck right here at opening price. So let's measure again right here. So market open right here, price dropped 85 points, really close to our TP, and then price again from this point pushed up. Actually, it was a little bit higher, it's right here. Yes, price dropped down here about 86 points, really close to our TP, and then it pushed up about 70 points. So price hasn't pushed 100 points in either direction yet. At this point, I'm like, man, should we adjust our TP to something smaller? But the last thing I want to do is adjust it to something smaller, and then the volatility starts to pick back up, right? So I think the last thing I'll do is make adjustments to the TP stop loss, especially because we're in the middle of the fall season. I'm not really expecting the volatility to get any slower than it currently is right now. If anything, during the holidays, like say Thanksgiving or Christmas, then at that point, okay, maybe it'll probably be a good time to make adjustments. But as of now, it's kind of I think this type of movement is just temporary. Yeah, Patricia said 75, 75. That could be something good. I just would have to go back and test it first to make sure that it's actually profitable in the interim. So maybe that's something I'll look into, Patricia. I think the 100 is it's still okay. Like it's okay in a situation where it's like it's more of on the okay side. But yeah, of course, it would be nice, right? If we had a 75, 75, like Patricia said, we would have hit our TP already. Or a 50-50 would have hit our TP already, right? 50-50, I think 50-50 might be a little too close though. I think if the market's extremely slow, then okay, 50-50 would work. But like Patricia said, 75, 75 actually is pretty good. I think that's a good increment, right? An increment of 25 between 50 to 75 to 100. And then, of course, if the market turns into like COVID markets like it did years ago, we can go for 1,500. If you guys remember, if you guys traded with me during COVID, our TP stop loss was 150. So it was way bigger than it was now. Obviously, we're not in that type of market anymore. See, the thing with this too is that the elections are coming up in about 2 weeks, I think, right? Let me check the calendar. Yes, election date is in less than 2 weeks. It's on the 5th. So that just reminds me I have to go put my mail-in ballot in the mailbox. Yeah, this year's flying by, guys. It is about to be November. I feel like it was just October 1st. Now it's about to be November 1st. So I'm hoping once the elections pass, we're gonna have more volatility. This just doesn't make any sense, honestly. If you guys have been trading for a while, like if you guys not even just trading with me, but if you guys have been trading for a while, this like back and forth movement is not natural for an October market, especially not moving at least 100 points. 100 points it shouldn't even be that much, even if it's in a range. Like I'm okay with it being in a range, 100 points, but like right here, it's not even ranging 100 points. It's ranging less than that. Let me check the CNBC real quick. So yeah, you can see over here. Well, the Dow is like super down because it's been down for a while. But usually when we're identifying the direction of our bias or with regard to fundamentals, we would look at the number here, right? The number for the Dow is just down because it's been down. S&P over here is pretty flat. These two should be like aligned typically. Typically, these two are usually aligned. They're not aligned today. And same with the Nasdaq. It's only down like 100 points. Typically, it'd be down like 300 points, 400 points, etc. It's just really slow for a fall market or a fall season. All right, so let's see if there's anything else here for us to look at. Back to our SR charts over here. Price is pretty much just within the range. So here's like one example of zones. These are the support resistance zones right here. Here's our clean chart. It pretty much lines up very similarly. And then, of course, our main chart over here, same thing. So basically for the main chart here, the where price keeps gravitating towards is the opening price right here. So the opening price right here is where price gravitates to. For the levels chart over here, basically the price levels, it's going between the 950 and the 900. It's a 50-point range. And then for the SR chart, it's going between this resistance and this support. It's not really doing anything. Just back and forth. So let's see, I'm going to mark up liquidity over here. pretty much the new liquidity that's come up, just so that you guys have an idea of like where price may be targeting. So, okay, this is kind of what I like right here. So there's like actual liquidity right here, and then now it's trying to build up a lot of lower level liquidity right here. So if you look down below, it's building up a bunch of levels right here. So price might range here for a bit, but eventually when price comes down below, it's going to blast right through this liquidity. Right, it's going to blast through the lower level liquidity right here. And then we have the farther point right here. And then our TP for our breakout is going to be right there, that black line. So I do like that it's building up a bunch of liquidity down here, because now if price starts to decide to come back to the downside, it's got a lot of targets here to knock out. There's just no catalyst, the slow market. I'm hoping tomorrow's going to shake up the market a bit. We've been talking about this all month. First week of October was very volatile and directional. The second week of October was very choppy. Last week was a very sideways market. So I was hoping that because last week was a sideways market, this week would be more directional. But it seems like this week is the actual sideways market. So a couple of things to look at. I'll just put it right here. So like weekly market trends, right? This is usually like the weekly market trends. So like the first trend is a directional market, choppy market, ranging market. So usually this is like the market trends that will typically happen per week, right? You'll have a directional market. And then even on top of that, let's see. And I really hate this, like, oh, there we go. So really, these are the types of markets that you'll see per week. And I'll put over here, so October market trends. Week 1 was directional. Week 2 was choppy. Week 3 was mixed. Week 4, we're in week 4 right now. This is what I consider a ranging market. Next week is week 5. I'm hoping, so it usually moves in a way that you can kind of predict what's going to happen the next week is going to be direction. I'm hoping this is going to be the case for next week, because I was already expecting this week to be directional, but I forget that October has 5 weeks, not 4 weeks. Usually a normal month has 4 weeks. There's 31 days in October, so we actually have 5 weeks for October. So usually in a 4-week month, it's usually like this. You'll have a really good week, you'll have a choppy week, you'll have a mixed week, you'll have a ranging week. Because we have 5 weeks in October, I'm hoping that next week is going to be back to directional. I mean, we can't say it for sure, but one can hope, right? So these are the market trends to look out for. If you guys remember, for week 1, we had basically 4 or 5 back-to-back wins. Week 2 is choppy. We had a net loss of 1. Last week was mixed because we had a break-even week. This week is ranging, so this week is kind of just back and forth as well. And I'm just looking for that next win streak, right? Because from our data, it shows that like every couple of weeks, there's going to be a win streak. Like if you look at the data set, if you look at the data set, like you can see over here, there's a nice win streak, right? Then we go through like break-even week, choppy week, and then you have another win streak right there. You go through like a lightly win week, choppy week, another win streak right there. So you can see these win streaks happen like almost every couple weeks. So like basically every 3 to 4 weeks, a win streak is going to happen where you have like 3 or 4 back-to-back wins. Right? It's just a pattern. It's a pattern of the market. And then some weeks you'll have like an even longer win streak. So it's really just weathering the storm. Like for example, right here, there's a bunch of losses. This is like a big losing streak, but because we're using the risk off plan, then we don't really get caught in this. This is what I would consider last week into this week. So basically last week, it was losing between like, I think Wednesday up until Monday. So I'll say like a 4 or 5 streak of losses. And then after that, it goes back into like basically a break-even week. And then you can just see there's a pattern here where like after every couple of weeks, it ends up going back into a win streak. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for next week. This week, well, I was hoping it was going to happen this week, but it's not really looking like it. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a mixed week again. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. If this breakout hits today, then this might be the week where we have the win streak. The only problem is that the market's so slow that we don't really have much to work with here. Again, this entry is going to be moving for a while. So the breakout's now back in some drawdown, but it's still pushing. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. CJ said NFP is next week's too, so hopefully it will be directional. Is NFP next week? Let me check the calendar. Oh, you're right. It is. It's November 1st on Friday. You are right. Yeah, I think next week for sure will be directional then if it is NFP week. Usually NFP week is the directional week because there's a lot of volatility. But I want to get my hopes up. Not yet. But yeah, I'm hoping so, CJ. Usually, yeah, usually NFP is the directional week. It's the same as the first week of October. So I guess technically this is October is 4 weeks. Let me go look at November real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I would consider, yeah, I would still consider October 5 weeks because November 1st is on Friday. So most of the week next week is still October. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, let's hope for that. All right, guys, I'm not really seeing too much happening here. I mean, as you guys can see, I wouldn't really recommend that you guys take any trades right now anyways. I'd probably just sit out of the market. I'm gonna leave my laptop open, of course, because I have to let the trade run. 7:47 right now. We have about 13 minutes till 8. I think the main reason for us to really cut out here is just so that you guys don't force any trades. I know a lot of you guys are probably getting impatient. But the main thing is, I know some of you guys may be getting impatient, but don't make any mistakes that you're going to regret later, right? Because I know I've talked to a couple of you guys here. Whenever the market does this and it just goes sideways for a bit, you just want to take something, and then what happens is you end up taking a bad trade, and then you end up losing, and then once you start losing, you start to go into this revenge trading cycle. So in order for me to prevent you guys from doing that, I think it's best to just call it a day. Of course, I'm going to leave my breakout running. So my breakout is still going to be running for, I guess, the rest of the day until it hits. But for the most part, for you guys here who are starting to get a little bit impatient, I'd probably just step away for a little bit. Wait for the market here to pick up. It's probably going to be slow from here until 8 o'clock, our cutoff time. And then it'll probably pick up closer to like 9. So like between 8 and 9 market will start to pick up a little bit. And then from there, the volatility will start to become a bit more smooth. What I've been noticing lately is that the volatility starts to pick up a little later in the session. So it doesn't really happen between 6:30 and 8 like it used to. It's kind of just very choppy and sideways. And then it starts to pick up a little bit between 8 and 9, maybe 8 and 10. So between 8 and 10 is usually where the volatility starts to pick up a little bit. And then from 10 to 12, it starts to die out again. So again, like I said, we have a lot of liquidity sitting down here. So I'm hoping price will come down and knock out the liquidity. Once it knocks out the liquidity, I'm hoping it blasts right through to our TP. I have my alerts set up, so I'll be checking on this, of course, from time to time. And our breakout is back in profit now as it comes back down right here. So hopefully this is the push we were waiting for, and it drops lower. But I'm not going to sit around and just wait for it because I think by doing that, it's just going to make me more stressed out because we're going to be focusing on this candle by candle. So. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, our breakout is still running in profit right now. bunch of liquidity sitting down here. So I'm hoping it comes out, knocks out all this liquidity, and then hits our TP down there. I'll keep you guys updated on the Discord. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the Discord. If you have any concerns or anything like that, just feel free to chime into the chat here. I'll still be looking at the Discord. I just won't be on the charts. I'll let the trade do what it needs to do. But all right, so I think that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow for the next live session. And I will keep my breakout running right now. It's currently in profit about 10 points, and hopefully it drops even further over the next hour or so. So, all right, guys.